In the annals of aviation history, few aircraft have captured the imagination quite like the Martin JRM Mars. A titan of the skies, it was born in war, adapted for peace, and found its true calling in saving lives in forests. But why were only 7 of these magnificent flying boats ever built? The story of the Martin JRM Mars is one of ambition, adaptation, and an unexpected legacy that spans over 8 decades. The year is 1941. World War II engulfs the globe, and the United States Navy faces a monumental challenge: how to patrol and defend vast stretches of ocean against enemy forces. Their solution? A massive flying boat that could serve as a long-range patrol bomber, capable of striking far-flung targets and defending Allied shipping lanes. Enter the Glenn L. Martin Company, already known for their innovative aircraft designs. They proposed the XPB-2M1 Mars, a behemoth that would dwarf every other aircraft in the sky. Consider these staggering figures. Wingspan 200 feet, nearly as wide as a Boeing 747. Length 120 feet. Height 38 feet. Maximum takeoff weight 165,000 pounds. Crew 5 to 7, depending on mission profile. The Mars was designed to carry up to 133 troops or an astounding 84,000 pounds of cargo. It could stay aloft for up to 30 hours, giving it an operational range of over 4,300 nautical miles. But despite its enormous potential, only 7 of these aircraft were ever built. Why? 1. Timing: the Mars was conceived for a war that evolved faster than its development. By the time the first prototype, Old Lady, took to the skies in June 1942, the strategic landscape had shifted dramatically. Smaller, more agile aircraft like the PBY Catalina and B-17 Flying Fortress were already proving their worth in combat. 2. Changing technology: as World War II progressed, the need for massive flying boats waned. The rise of more efficient land-based bombers and long-range aircraft reduced the strategic necessity for a giant ocean patrol bomber like the Mars. 3. Wars end with the conclusion of World War II in 1945. The U.S. Navy faced a dilemma. The Mars, originally designed for a global conflict, suddenly found itself without a clear mission. Out of the 20 aircraft originally ordered, only 7 were completed before the remaining 14 were canceled, as the military turned its focus to the jet age and land-based aircraft. 4. Cost: the Mars was extraordinarily expensive to build, maintain, and operate. Each aircraft required a crew of 4 pilots, 2 flight engineers, a navigator, and a radio operator. It consumed about 600 gallons of fuel per hour, making it an expensive asset in peacetime when budgets were shrinking. 5. Specialization: the Mars was a highly specialized aircraft designed to operate from water. As commercial aviation grew and airports became the norm, there was little interest in such a niche aircraft. Airlines needed versatile planes that could land anywhere, not just on water. But the story of the Mars didn't end with the war. In a remarkable display of adaptability, these giants were converted into transport planes, moving cargo and troops across the Pacific. In this new role, the Mars set records that stood for decades, including carrying 269 passengers in a single flight and transporting over 68,000 pounds of cargo. However, the dawn of the jet age in the 1950s brought even more challenges. Faster, more efficient aircraft, like the Lockheed Constellation and Boeing 377 Stratocruiser, made the piston-engine Mars obsolete. The once mighty flying boat, with its colossal size and specialized design, was no longer practical in the rapidly changing world of aviation. Yet the Mars had one more chapter to write. In 1959, 4 of these giants found a new purpose that would define their legacy for the next half-century. They were purchased by Canadian forestry companies and converted into water bombers to fight forest fires. With their massive capacity to carry and drop water, the Mars became invaluable in battling some of North America's largest wildfires. Their ability to scoop up 7,200 gallons of water in just 22 seconds and then drop it precisely over raging fires made them heroes of the skies. For decades, the Mars water bombers operated in British Columbia in the western United States, saving countless lives in forests. By the early 2020s, only two Martin JRM Mars remained: the Hawaii Mars II and the Philippine Mars. Both were owned by Coulson Aviation and based in Port Alberni, British Columbia. The Hawaii Mars II continued to be called upon for firefighting duties, although its deployments became rarer as more modern aircraft took on the role. But the story of the Mars wasn't quite finished. On March 28, 2024, the British Columbia Aviation Museum announced a historic acquisition. They had purchased the Hawaii Mars II from Coulson Aviation. On August 11, 2024, the Hawaii Mars II took to the skies for its final flight, traveling from Port Alberni to Victoria International Airport. This short hop marked the end of an era, as the last flying Mars settled into its new role as a museum piece. The British Columbia Aviation Museum plans to make the Hawaii Mars II the centerpiece of their collection, dubbing it their crown jewel. Visitors will be able to get up close to this magnificent flying boat and learn about its incredible history. But what about the Philippine Mars, you might ask? Well, on April 25, 2024, another announcement shook the aviation world. The Pima Air and Space Museum in Tucson, Arizona, revealed that they would be acquiring the Philippine Mars for permanent display. Plans are underway for the Philippine Mars to make one last epic flight later in 2024, traveling from Port Alberni to Tucson. This journey will be a fitting finale for an aircraft that has spent its life crossing vast distances.